Hey, how's it going, guys? Hope you're having a good day. My day's okay. Thank you for asking. Just want to come on here, share some more things, share some more ideas with you guys. And I think that I've come to the realization of what it is I want to achieve with this YouTube channel. Because at first, I had thought that I was just going to come on here and share thoughts and talk about things, and for this to be a place to, share like minded ideas or even opposite ideas. And I think that I want to be able to share more so than just that, but more a sense of peace. I feel like that's very important in today's day and age with, what's going on. And so I want to preface this video with a mindset, let's say, right? I want you to think about everything that I say under this mindset. The essence of a thing is not always manifested through the nature of a thing. And I know that might sound wordy, but it basically just means that the things of the world, right? The things like the concepts, the most grandiose, the most transcendent concepts that you can think of, typically are not capable of being conveyed, manifested, whatever word it is you want to use, shown. That's basically all I'm saying, is that the most grand concepts are not capable of being shown through the vessels that reality has, right? So like an example would be love. Love is one of those things that is so gigantic, so composed of many different elements that we as humans are not capable of conveying, because we're very limited in our ability to convey certain things, right? Like we can try, obviously, we can try, and we can do, and we can attempt to try and convey these things, but ultimately we end up failing, right? I know that you know that. And so I want you to be able to kind of see where it is I'm going with this. Peace is much like love in that aspect, right? It's almost as if people feel the need to not always do more, but sometimes be more. Sometimes be more, have more, whether it be possession or just ego, it could be anything, right? And so I think that people forget that peace is stillness, right? And that might sound like it's, common sense, right? Like, well, of course that's what that is. But what people have glossed over is that stillness is a constant, meaning that it's still in motion. It's still something that is ongoing. It's still something you practice. It's still something that is perpetual. It's not this thing that is one and done. I've achieved stillness, and so now I no longer need to, do whatever it is I need to do, or I no longer need to attain, or whatever it might be, right? So it's very hard for a society to be still or of peace when you have as much noise as we do. And I use that word very, very, very particularly because noise is this thing that is trying to influence you, right? Even in the most literal sense, noise is influencing you in ways that you might not be aware of, whatever it might be. And so when you think of the past, right? When you think of history, when you think of, it could be any time in history, even with how bad things were, yes, people were much more still. And that doesn't mean that they were full of peace or that, things were amazing and that they were great, because that's something I hear all the time. People love to glaze the, past. And I do more so than you might think. And so I don't mean it in the sense that things were so great, that people were so full of peace, but that there was much less noise, much less things being thrown at you to try and influence you, to try and maybe not even influence you, but be in your face, be in your mind. Because, and that's another thing, is that the people have forgotten that the subconscious plays a very, 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 very big part into how you go about your day, And so when you have as much noise as we do, it's very hard to be still, right? And it reminds me of a quote, and it goes like this: perfection is not attained when you have something to gain, but when you have nothing to lose. And I want you to sit on that. I want you to absorb that, right? It sounds self-explanatory. It does. But we live in the world where it doesn't even have to be material things. People feel the need to not just have more, but to be more. More than what a human is even ultimately capable of being, right? And so you think of words like hubris. And if you're unfamiliar with what that word means, that just means that somebody's pride is so severe that it reaches the level of divinity. Meaning that somebody is so prideful that they would compare themselves to a god or to gods or to be of something more than human. And so it's ironic, I know, that I prefaced this video with the idea that human beings are not capable of, encompassing what these grandiose concepts are, and yet we still try, right? And yet we still make an attempt to be more, for more vanity, for more, quantity. It's always quantity too, which is another thing I want you to think about. It's always more to have, to hold on to, instead of the things being worth something despite only having a couple of them, right? Or having one or two, whatever, however it might, whatever it might be. And people have like just given up. They've given up on that same concept of quantity within ourselves, right? And I believe that is the, that would be what the root would be, right? It's multifaceted, and so yes, I understand that there's more than that. But at the root of things, it starts with us, right? At the root of everything, it starts with you. You be the change you want to see. And, so have that right on one side of the coin. And then on the other side of the coin, think about it like this. You are a mirror. You're a mirror of everything around you, of everyone around you. You are the one, and then there is the other. And so 9 times out of 10, if someone else in society, whoever it might be, is a particular type of way, and it's very easy for me, for you, for anybody to look at these people and judge them or to look down upon them or whatever it might be. 9 times out of 10, they're probably just like you in some way or another. And I feel like people don't like that anymore. People don't like being told that anymore. People don't like having that sense of humility, where you have to come to terms with the fact that, yeah, you are a part of the problem. And so I find it so insane how we can be the way that we are and look at another and see them for someone else as if they're a completely different thing. as if they're this own thing, like, oh, so and so is like, oh, he's the only person that does it, she's the only person that does that, or the only person that's like that, or even a group of people, right? Because the internet tries to make you think that a very, very, very small group of people are actually a lot bigger than they are, right? Because think about it. If you have 9 billion people on Earth, or just about, whatever the number is, even 0.1%, even 1% of 9 billion is like, a sizable enough of a group to do some damage. And yet, they still are not so big or so gigantic that, they take over, right? And that's what I feel like, that's what the internet, it tries to make us think, is that these very small groups of people are much bigger than they actually are. And so you can think about that with anything, right? Any type of influencer, any type of person trying to sell you a course, anybody on social media in general, right? You'll see these groups of people, and they make it look like they're much bigger than they actually are. And to circle back to the original point that I was making about, essence, right? When I say essence, that's something that is, think of like the hierarchy system, right? The triangle. Essence is the thing at the top, right? And before, I guess you could say like noise, because earlier I brought up noise. That would basically be the best equivalent that I could make, right? You have something, a thing, whatever it might be, right? It could be an emotion, it could be people, it could be thoughts, it could be ideologies, it could be actions, it could be just about anything you can think of, right? And so you are flowing through these things, right? Like the essence of you, who you are. And so it's very, very easy for people to forget that these things exist outside of ourselves, right? And we exist outside of these things, right? We are more than these things. And yet people attach themselves almost as like an extension of themselves. They attach themselves to these things. And this is a part of the problem with how I was talking about, people can't be still. They cannot be still because they are trying so hard to be something that they are not capable of being, right? And they try anyways, and there's strife and there's struggle, and they so badly are trying to reach, a realm beyond themselves, right? And the only way in which that a lot of people know how to do those kind of things are by watching other people. They watch other people. They watch their favorite influencer. They watch their favorite YouTuber. They might watch whoever, right? A role model. And they see them for who they are, right? And obviously they admire them. And so then they try to be them, right? They try to be like them. They try to do the same things as them. And, for a lot of people, unfortunately, these things work, right? And they're happy. They're happy because of it. But then there's a lot of us who are not happy, right? There are a lot of us who struggle trying to find ourselves in between all of the noise, right? We struggle to, almost like a river, right? Like think of your awareness as the river, and as you as the surrounding area, right? And so it's almost like there's a current, like this, just this big huge current, and it's taking down everything with it, trying to get where it's trying to go, instead of like just a smooth, easy, almost like a waterfall, just easy, still, peace, calm, right? You ever notice that, how most things that are serene, right? Like in the real world, by the way, I'm talking about in the real world, how most things that are very serene, very beautiful, very calm are still, right? Like the wind is still, it's calm, it's tranquil, right? Things aren't very in your face, loud, aggressive, right? And you can look at the world and make these kind of observations with lots of things, right? And yet we still try to act like literally in a way that does not fit us, right? And I feel like that's why so many people struggle. That's why so many people can't, or even not even struggle, but that's why so many people are stressed, right? Not because of the things that they aren't doing, but because they don't know, they're not aware, right? Like, have you ever heard the quote before? It goes, never attribute to malice what can be attributed to ignorance. And what that means basically is, don't think that someone has done something wrong on purpose. Instead, they've likely done it because they're ignorant, because they don't know. They're unaware. And so, we do that to ourselves. We do that to ourselves more than anybody, right? We might accidentally hurt somebody because we don't know any better, the same way a child would, but we do that to ourselves more than anybody, just from the time that we wake up. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, there are so many things that are influencing, that are in your face, and you are a part of that. And so what I want is for people to be able to achieve almost like, like a tuning fork, right? Where, like, think of it as like being like all out there. The frequency is not, aligned, and then it completes. It's serene, complete alignment, right? And not alignment with other things, not alignment through something, not alignment through someone, but through yourself, through you. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with attaching these type of ideologies, because think about it like this. If I were to say that to somebody, they would probably think the first thing that they would think of is Buddhism. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like we fail to encapsulate or to reach this sense of stillness and peace, because we always feel the need to attach something to it. And then that attachment becomes like an action, it becomes a type, and then you basically close it off, right? Like, another example would be how there are people out there that think science cannot be associated with God, or God can be associated with science, right? And it doesn't matter what you believe in. These things are very obviously encompassed, right? These things are very obviously together in some sense, right? Like, they derive from the same, not place, but methodology, right? They come from the same ideologies in a lot of ways. They have a lot of similarities, is what I'm trying to say. And there are people out there who refuse. They refuse to accept that there could be two truths, right? And so, anyways, to finalize this video, I'm getting towards the end. Stillness is not out here, right? It's not through the internet. It's not through the things you see. It's not through the people you see. Stillness is through you and how you come to the realizations that you come to. And it's so sad because we've been telling people that for the last couple of years, how it's all about us now, right? Because for a very long time, it wasn't like that. For a very long time, people weren't able to be themselves. And then now we've done the opposite. Now we've done the extreme, where now it's like, that's all we want to do is think about ourselves. And so, yeah, I know how ironic it can sound, but the last thing I want you to think is that when I say these things, that they are, rigid. This is the way that it is, and that there cannot be any other type of thought or any other thing to add. Because, like I said in my last video, everything is connected. Everything. Negative, positive, doesn't matter what it is. All these things come into it. And I wish that I could explain these things to you, but it would take me forever. I wouldn't be able to, right? And it's kind of funny that I say that, because at the start of the video, I had talked about how people want to be able to do more than they can do. And that's sometimes that's sad. Sometimes that's not always so, like negative, and sometimes it's not always through pride. Sometimes that's the positive things, right? Like how we try to talk to each other as human beings and we try to communicate, and yet we can only do so much, right? And so all I can do, share the way that I think with you. All that I can do is try to lead you to this sense of stillness, and I hope that I helped you with that. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Let me know what you think down and below. Thank you for watching.